struggle was real. Yeah, exactly. The struggle was real.
Yes.
Thank you all
The
for being.
struggle is real, but so is God.
Yeah, I love it. The struggle is real. No, no, no. Bring it back. Bring it back. Bring it back. What is that? What is that? So, was it a certain thing in your life, or I guess an event or a trauma that you went through that brought on this feeling of depression?
hmm so I feel like I've dealt with depression at different points of my life, and each time it is like some sort of event that's triggering it. So it's like the event will make me sad, which is normal, but when it
Mm,
gets to the point that it's impeding with daily life, like your daily functioning, that's when it's like starting to turn more clinical. So the first time I experienced depression was when my maternal grandparents died 3 months apart. And
mm,
so like I was going through a lot of sadness then. I think another time was when I was in college, kind of struggling with my singleness. And then this last time was moving out here, not knowing if or when I was going to get licensed as a counselor and not liking my job. And I mean, it was getting to the point that like I was saying, I was late for work every day. Did not
mm,
want to get up. Like I just had no energy.
mm. Yeah, definitely. And like you said, I feel it's normal to be sad, it's
hmm
normal to go through life and have days where you're just not in the mood, and maybe something has happened and it's caused you to feel sad. That's life, and it's natural. That's how we identify our emotions. But I believe what you said is so true and important. When it gets to the point where it's stopping us and it becomes a frequent emotion, and I guess even starts to play in your mind, you start to think of other things that you shouldn't really be thinking of, dark places. A lot of people have been through depression and thought of suicide, just thought that they've just had enough of life. Because, so what I'm saying is that it's an intense feeling. It's more than just sadness, it's more
Right.
than just a person feeling upset. It's a lack of motivation. It causes you to not want to get up and go. So yeah, and you did mention that there was an episode with your grandparents, and sorry to hear about your loss. Do you feel that not dealing with it, or not even having enough time to deal with, or grieving with that
hmm
situation properly and in the right way? Because I feel like that also could play a part to becoming depressed, not grieving the right way. Some people say, oh yeah, things will get better, which I believe they do, but there is still a grieving process. That I believe that when loss occurs, we still need to go through that grieving process properly. Do you see what I mean? Before we end
Yes.
up in a depression. Yeah. So I
hmm
totally understand and get what you're saying. How
hmm
long has it been, or how long have you been feeling, or did you feel this way for?
How
Is it
long was
something
I
that's
feeling
still back?
depressed?
Yeah.
Um, so I moved out here almost 4 years ago. So I mean, it was about 3 years, I would say, that I was kind of feeling that way until I started medication. It kind of helped me to it kind of helped to pull me out of that.
Mm.
hmm
Yeah, that's very interesting. I just want to read this comment that Chuck says, and he's saying, "Hi, I just wanted to say that I can relate to Jessica. I work in substance misuse and mental health. We do hear a lot of upsetting stories, and it can affect you. Well done."
hmm
So yes, this is. I mean, I believe a lot of us can relate to this.
Yeah.
So Jessica, you said that you were going through or feeling like this for 3 years. That's a long time, Jessica. You're very strong. That's a long time to be feeling like that. Do you understand? To be
Yeah.
feeling, yeah, it's a long time to endure. And now you said that, you started taking medication. How was
hmm
that decision or transition? Because that can also be stigmatized as well.
hmm
And I believe I was talking to you and I was saying that, I feel like when it comes to medication, I think it's a blessing. you will not see a person that is diabetic and tell them to stop taking their medication.
Right.
I believe that medication is a blessing from God, especially when you find the right type of medication, because
Right.
medication for some people doesn't work well, and for some people. So I thought until we get to a place where we do not need to use it, then I do advise people to use it. If I have a headache, I'm going to take a paracetamol. Do you understand?
Right.
Yeah. Because I need to feel better. Do you understand? So I think it's a blessing. So how was that decision making and the transition from throughout the 3 years of not being on medication and then making that decision? How was that for you?
So it was definitely a struggle at first. I was seeing a counselor, but we weren't being able to see each other consistently. And then I had got a new job and my schedule changed. Her schedule was changing and we weren't going to be able to meet. And so, I was letting her know, like, I think I need to terminate services and find somebody I can meet with more consistently.
Yeah.
And she was like, have you considered light therapy, which is like it's like an actual light that you just kind of let shine on you to help you, because like the daylight can help us to feel less
Okay.
depressed.
Like sunlight. Okay, yeah.
And then or medication. And I was like, yeah, I'll look into it. I didn't. And I was just trying to find another counselor, and I think it was like then the holidays were coming up and there was just a lot kind of going on. So I didn't really find anybody. And then I found somebody and I didn't like her. And then I forget when I had told my husband, like, yeah, the first counselor thought maybe I should try medication. And he's like, yeah, like, I think you should try it. I'm like, I don't know. I feel like I
Mm,
should at least try counseling consistently
mm,
first. Because that's kind of like what we talk about in school. Like, okay, if you're doing counseling consistently for a while and it's still not working, you might need to get some medication to help jumpstart you. And I'm like, well,
mm,
let me give myself that chance first. But I mean, it was getting pretty bad because, like, I didn't make plans to want to take my life, but I was feeling like death is the only way out of this feeling. And I would like play these sad songs on repeat, just feeling like I wanted to die. And my husband's like, no, like, you need to do this. Like, you need to make an appointment with
mm,
somebody. And so then I was started looking on this website called Psychology Today, and I was actually looking for like a Christian psychiatrist because I wanted somebody that I'd be able to trust. And then I found somebody, met with him, he was cool, and then started me off. And once it like started kicking in, I pretty much I'm like my personality starting to come back.
come back. That's very interesting. Yeah. I just want to read a comment from Worship with Gladys. She says, some people don't believe in meds though. I suffered anxiety for years and I had to take natural meds and it worked tremendously. See what I mean? Yeah. Because Jessica, did you feel so when you were discussing with your husband, and God bless your husband, for being that support system to you and for you, because I believe that even when we go through these things and feel challenges in life, just these type of things, I believe our support system is very important. People that we keep
Yeah.
around us. Do you see what I mean? Because you can imagine you didn't really want to go down that route because you're
Right.
probably thinking there must be another way. I don't
Yeah.
want to be taking meds because, like I said, it's often stigmatized.
Yeah.
But the reality of the matter is that when we have a problem, like I said, if I have a headache, I'm going to go and take paracetamol. I'm going to take something to
Right.
relieve that pain. Yeah. So I'm very grateful. And God bless your husband for being that person to stand by you and guide you and tell you, yes, this is the way to go. You could have been around
Yeah.
someone else and they could have been like, what? You're going to take meds? What do you mean you're going to take meds? How
Right.
can you? Do you know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
those thoughts in your mind, like you said, you didn't feel like there was a way out. God forbid it could have gone down the outcome could have been very, very awful. Do you see what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's a good
Mhm.
thing that you took this up. And I feel that these kind of conversations, especially as Christians as well, these are the type of conversations that we need to be having with people. Was there
Yeah.
anybody, and this is what I'm saying, because was there anybody around you at the time, maybe I don't know, a brother or sister that you spoke to about this, or a pastor or a leader in the church or somebody, and how was your experience with that, if you did, share this with them? What did they say?
The people that I have shared it with, they were all very supportive, and maybe just asked a few questions like, okay, which medication is going to be, or what's the dosage, things like that. Um, but I wouldn't say I got any pushback or any negative comments or anything like that.
Which is very beautiful to hear, because I feel like that's
Yeah.
the way that we should embrace our brothers and sisters, especially when we're speaking about such topics, because you could go to a church or I don't know, a community where there are Christians, and sometimes it can be often, oh no, what do you mean you're depressed? No, let's
Right.
don't take the medication. But we need to be having realistic conversations, and treating it just as though you're going to treat somebody who has, I don't know, a cancer, who has
Right.
diabetes, who has any other, health thing, something that could harm them. This is how
Right.
I feel like we need to be addressing it. So yes, so Israel Garrett says finding the right counselor is definitely a key element in the healing process. Yes, because I noticed that you did say that you wasn't really feeling the first counselor that you spoke to. And I believe that that's what we call discernment. Do you understand? When you sit down with someone and you're thinking, are you sure you can you can really help me with what I need help with? Do you understand?
Right.
So whatever you feel comfortable with, I believe is what also helped you. Finding the right people around you, I believe that's what also helped you overcome. So how do you get by day to day when it comes to this? Because I noticed that you did say you feel like you're coming back to yourself, which is awesome. When did this start? Like, when did you feel like, oh my gosh, I believe I'm Jessica again? When was that moment?
So it was actually during the beginning of the pandemic, because that's when all of this was kind of going on, and I had unjustly got fired from my job, and was just dealing with all of this, and a lot of just like personal stuff going on. And then I was starting to take the medication, and I'm just kind of like chilling at home because that's all we were able to do. And I remember I was hanging out with this girl. She's like a little sister to me, and I forget what we were watching. It was probably like a Disney movie or something like that. And I was just cracking up. And she's like, "This quarantine is getting to you." And I'm like, "No, like this is me." And it was like I almost forgot. I was like, "Oh, like I am very like silly and random." But she has not seen that side of me because I was pretty much depressed like the whole time I was out here. And I actually remember my pastor had told me my pastor out here, he was like, I can sense this heaviness on you. And he was like, I don't know. He's like, that's just like how you are. Like Jessica just has this heaviness. And then when I heard that, it was kind of sad because I know that's not like how I've always been. But I would say, yeah, during the quarantine, things definitely started to pick up.
Yeah, which is, I believe, so, for some people that could even be the opposite, because a lot of people would say that when quarantine started, they became depressed.
Right.
Do you see what
Yeah.
I mean? So that's a big, 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 big blessing. Okay, God bless you, Bree Spat. Thank you ever so much for joining us. Bree Spat says, there was a season when I had to rely on the help of meds, but it was short term. I'm not opposed to it. But it was a last resort. I also wanted meds that were as natural as possible. Yeah, and I feel like for a lot of us, you would want it to be the last resort. Like Jessica said,
Right. Yeah.
she was going through it for 3 years, before she started taking any type of medication. So I do believe it would have to really be the last resort. Do you understand? If I'm going through something physically in my body or in my mind, and I feel like this thing is negative, and after 3 years things are not changing, you got to go a bit deeper, right? You got to
Right.
find a
Yeah.
different solution at this point. So yeah, absolutely. I think it would be the last resort for a lot of us. I absolutely do.
Yeah.
Yeah.